Audio Jungle.
Hey, who don't dare and listen? The biggest online platform is back and we are ready. It's the voice of Sino in the diaspora. Your one stop for information, debate, and discovery. Join us every Thursday at 12 o'clock p.m. EST, 4 o'clock p.m. GMT, and 12 midnight in the Philippines, where power, progress, and the people take center stage. The program is with your host, Dasaya Pora Esoteric, the mouthpiece of the God, and your brilliant co-host, Shadow Snare. They are bringing the heat, the truth, and the talk every single week with spotlight polls, education, politics, and so much more. Listen and listen very well. The program features deep dives and critical analysis from Christian Tababo, Patrick Bolu, Sarah Ellis, Sam Walker, and Sagasha Success Barlow. Don't miss out. Catch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Voice of Sino in the Diaspora. The program is every Thursday, and you know why? We bring the conversation to you. Voice of Sino in the Diaspora, where your voice matters.
Audio Jungle.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. And I would like to say good night, depending on the part of the world you find yourself. Welcome to the Voice of Sino in the Diaspora. And my name is Shirley. I am the co-host to the representative of the editor, who I think he kind of set me up today. So he somewhere watching, making sure he's taking notes to make sure that after this live, I get fired. So I want all of you, first of all, to take your time and share this live. Try to invite your good friend to come and watch along, because we bring you the happening. So you don't want to miss it for sure. But before we start here, I will like to disclose something very important, okay? And that is Madison honestly set me up. He called me yesterday and said, "You are going to be the host." I was like, "What thing? What you talking about? I'm not prepared for this." So his shoe is so big and my little feet cannot fit in his shoes. So, but you guys need to make sure that you're comment below and make it seem like this is going good, okay? So even if it's not funny, you need to laugh. Even if I'm not doing good, you need to be like, "Great job, Shirley," okay? So that way when he comes and read a comment, he have no reason to fire me. He gonna keep me on. So as we wait here for my team member, I'm sorry. As we wait on Patrick to join me, I want you to take this time and share the live. We are going to be on YouTube and, of course, on Facebook. So follow us and share the live. So let's take a little commercial break here. I tell you, I'm new to this, okay? So you got to work along with me. That takes some commercial break, but we have some juicy topics to talk about today. So get ready, and get ready. But I am definitely going to make sure that you have all of your family and friends ready to come and listen to us today, because you want to get the happening in Liberia, the things that are going on in our beautiful country, Liberia. So share the life, and yes, and as I said, no kidding. Make sure you let him know I'm doing a great job, because he's watching somewhere. I know him. He's very sneaky. He's watching. Right, yeah. Okay. So let's take a commercial break here, and I'm gonna bring my team member Patrick on, and we're gonna start.
Audio Jungle.
Hey, hold on there and listen. The biggest online platform is back and we are ready. It's the voice of Sino in the diaspora. Your one stop for information, debate, and discovery. Join us every Thursday at 12 o'clock p.m. EST, 4 o'clock p.m. GMT, and 12 midnight in the Philippines, where power, progress, and the people take center stage. The program is with your host, Dasaya Pora Esoteric, the mouthpiece of the God, and your brilliant co-host, Shadow Snare. They are bringing the heat, the truth, and the talk every single week with spotlight polls, education, politics, and so much more. Listen and listen very well. The program features deep dives and critical analysis from Christian Tababo, Patrick Bolu, Sarah Ellis, Sam Walker, and Sagasha Success Barlow. Don't miss out. Catch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Just search Voice of Sino in the Diaspora. The program is every Thursday, and you know why? We bring the conversation to you. Voice of Sino in the Diaspora, where your voice matters.
Audio Jungle.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, yes.
How are you
Are you,
doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing too?
I'm great. Were you part of this setup? I just want to make sure. Were you part of setting me up today to host this show?
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, I have never doubted your expertise. Uh, of course. Yeah, the intro was already great before coming on. So I followed the intro, very brilliant. And I'm very optimistic today. We're going to have a very great show. Yeah. Two of
What
us
are we
today will
looking
have.
forward today? We're looking
Come on.
forward. You know Madison is somewhere. I mean, I want to introduce him, but it's so hard to introduce this man who his name I can't even pronounce that name. But one thing I will tell the audience today, you guys don't need to find dictionary to search for words because Patrick
Oh,
and I
yeah.
will come to you very simple English. Okay, no dictionary today. That is a good thing. I think that is the most important reason why he's not here today. That we can have fun. We can just be ourselves. We don't have to search the dictionary to kind of match the words. So I'm looking forward to it. But how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm very fantastic. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Happy to co-present with you today exclusively without BD book. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yes, yes. Without the representative of the gods, it's not here today. And
Oh,
you know,
yeah, indeed.
as I was coming on, I said, all I know how to do is thank you, Jesus. Okay. But you can't say that when he's here because he's going to turn the entire thing into argument. So now,
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh,
now I
yeah.
have the freedom to be like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And at some point, maybe the audience should just be prepared. When I say amen, it just comes naturally because I'm definitely going to be myself today saying he's not here.
But it is something strange today is happening within the audience.
Okay.
The audience, the audience feels happy also too that they are not seeing him, especially I mean, those who consider him their worst critics,
Right.
yeah. So not being on today, I think they're having a free round. Yeah, they're having a free round today because he never
Oh,
backs down.
I'm in a troublesome. But we can't talk about him in our bus. Then I want to keep my job after the show. So we're just gonna
No,
go.
no, no. In everything he does, he his critical views, his stance on issues, but he's always receptive, very tolerant.
He
Yeah,
is. He is.
tolerant, receptive, and he he agrees with people sometimes where it's an issue to agree on. But anyway, but let's make progress and let leave the sportsmen of the gods before the
Let me
gods
just
come to
begin
fight
up with
people.
all the representative of sportsmen, diaspora. He's not here today, but I'm sure he's gonna come on. So we're gonna make sure that we are on our best behavior because when he comes, we already know what we're doing. But
Oh yeah.
what's on your mind?
No, a lot has been a lot has been happening. A lot has been happening across the nation. A lot of trending issues, but a few things caught my attention. And
Okay.
uh, from the beginning of this week and now today, we we came across some trending videos on Facebook. Uh, police police citizen, yeah, police citizen, what should I say? Police citizen unfair behavior towards each other. Citizens are getting very aggressive towards law enforcement officers. Law enforcement officers are themselves are using are being very excessive in their reaction. That's one thing uh, that caught our attention, for this week. In fact, three different instances have been reported at the same time. The taxi driver who killed one officer was last week. Then, in the course of this week, an officer with arm hanging on himself arresting a lady who resisted with aggression. And then we got another instance where an officer uh, shot allegedly killed a mentally disabled person in the Congleton area. So these are things that have caught our attention. And other issues regarding politics, of course. I mean, the Israeli Hamas peace pact, has been signed, and everything that has been compounding our mind this whole week, everything is here today for us to discuss.
Wow, there's so many stuff happening. And let us not forget to add the what is it? ANC.
Oh yeah,
ANC Commerce his speech, or let's say his interview with Spoon, and then the reaction of the information minister or response of the information minister. And yeah, so many things are happening. We want to welcome all of you for joining us today. And we are here to just bring you important things that are happening in Liberia. So few of the things that we're going to discuss today are some of the things that Brother Patrick talked about. And in the comment section, just comment below what you think about the things that are happening, your view on things that are happening in our country, Liberia. At the end of the day, we are all Liberians and looking forward for our country to be better. So, Patrick, what you think? Should we start with this video here? Because I thought this video from, let's say, the police director, Gregory. Let me see here if I can play it, and then we can start with that and have some discussion on that. Bear with me. I am gonna learn this stuff. Let's see. Let's see how I can get the video on. Okay, now let me play the video.
This brief is about officer-involved shooting following multiple stabbing incident in the Congleton area. On October 8, 2025, at approximately 14:58 hours, the Liberia National Police radio room received a distress call reporting that a police officer had been stabbed multiple times near the OLACC building in Congleton. Responding officers identified themselves as police officers and ordered the suspect to surrender. After repeated verbal commands were ignored, officers attempted to breach the door. The suspect charged with a cutlass, striking and deeply wounding a second officer. The wound was still on his arm when he raised his hand to protect his head from being hit with the cutlass. A third officer intervened and successfully disarmed the suspect of the cutlass, unaware that the suspect had a concealed knife tucked in his pants. The suspect then stabbed the third officer in the thigh and attempted another thrust towards his abdomen. Facing an immediate mortal danger and in accordance with LMP use of force continuum, one of the officers discharged his service weapon, instantly neutralizing the threat and preventing further harm to his colleagues. The suspect and the injured officers were all rushed to the JFK Medical Center, where one officer remains in critical condition. As we speak, he is undergoing surgery, and following the emergency treatment, the suspect was pronounced. This brief is about.
Okay. I have to stop there because it's a really long video. Bro,
Mhm.
I think something caught my attention is the fact that he said the officers identify themselves as police officer. And you know, English is very funny. So is he saying as a director that those officers are not police officers and they falsely identify themselves as police officers? Patrick,
Okay.
let's hear
So
that.
yeah. So that is what he tried to say or justify is it is spelled out in the Constitution and the criminal procedure law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that when an officer of the law or a law enforcement officer appears before an accused person for arrest, there are likely two things you must do.
Okay.
First of all, identify yourself and informing the person of their arrest, reminding them also of whatever will be said or be done as an evidence against them in the court of law.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, those are the things. Those are the laid down rules. First of all, that must be applied when you appear to arrest an accused person.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what
in
got
that
them in
instance,
the category? I just want to know what got them in the category of they identify themselves. So are you saying like this? They were able to go through that whole process.
I don't know if they went through the whole process because in the first place they were I believe they were in uniform. Yeah, they were in uniform and armed. So the person being arrested knew already they were they were officers.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So in another instance, the only thing now they needed to have done was perhaps inform him of why he was being arrested and his right to remain silent. As
Okay.
anything to be said at that moment could have been used against him in the court of law. So because if you are not in uniform, for any reason, and, or wearing civilian clothes, then identification could be permissible or allowed. But in the instance to where people do impersonate as well, all right, to be very sure too that somebody, the wrong person, is not also impersonating as an officer of law, and identification is also good because some people are very technical.
Right.
On a circumstantial technicality, a person knowing the law and the person very abreast of the law will want to be sure that the person arresting them is an officer of the law.
That makes sense. So my next question is because it seems like there's so many things that happen in that time frame with a lot of people being staffed and, as you said, people in the hospital on critical condition. The suspect died in the process. But like going through all of that, knife were involved, complexes were involved.
So, so this is where, so life, um, you got weapons involved. A machete or cutlass was involved in this thing. It, uh, Guns were also involved. But this is what, well, this is the whole thing here. The police, under the criminal procedure laws, are shared on chapter 10 of the criminal procedure law that I just shared in the chat room. I mean, the police is defined as peace officers.
Right.
Yeah. That is their definition under the law. They are peace officers. We call them police officers. We call them, law enforcement officers. But the name ascribed to them on the criminal procedure law is peace officers, meaning they are there to do two things: protect lives and protect properties.
Mm-hmm.
In the execution of that exercise or that responsibility, they must at all times exercise restraint. And in fact, the Liberian Constitution defines or it disallows excessive force. All right, that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing, even on the criminal procedure law, there is a time the police can resort to force, but that force must be reasonable. The force must be reasonable because there's only one intent of the officer. The intent of the officer is to ensure arrest is effected.
Right.
The intent of the officer is not to kill.
It's not to kill somebody.
It's not to kill somebody. The intent of arrest is not to kill. The intent of arrest is to restrain the person, have them arrested, and place them in confinement.
Right.
That is the legal intent of arrest. So discharging, because in fact in training, I think the officers are trained, or they are deviating from training, from the training procedures or from best practices, but they are taught, even in this kind of circumstantial situation like attack, they are taught how to even disarm their victims.
Right. To
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. You see, to de-escalate situations, they are taught all the techniques. How will a trained police officer allow a civilian to stab them? How? Especially three officers.
3 officers, but those 3 officers to their defense, to Patrick, they didn't show up at the same time. Well, according to, it was like they didn't show up at the same time. But I get your point, though. But I'm just saying that they didn't show up at the same time.
So it was one after the other, right?
Right.
Okay, so in the first place, where the officer was wrong, on the same criminal procedure law, it talks about backup. Look, when you go to arrest somebody and the person proves violent
in their
or
home, in the person home.
In the person home, you go to arrest the person home, or even in hot pursuit, and the person proved violent or recalcitrant, and vehemently, resistible. What do? You call for backup. You can't see the person with a weapon already again, and you still want to say you can do it.
To to pop your muscle, like I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, you can't leave anybody, especially with the situation we are reading about the man being mentally disabled. Okay. So if truly the man was being if truly he was mentally disabled or mentally unstable, and he got a knife or a cutlass in his hand, and he proved resistible, what do? You call for backup. And to get a backup it's not something very it's not difficult. Right? What
Why
Monrovia,
if he ain't have no meaning in his phone, Patrick? Remember, why if his SIM card no meaning was in his phone to make that call?
an officer of the law got no minutes in his phone.
I don't know.
But they are, so let's assume on reasonable ground you got no minutes in his phone. But remember, they are civilians, right? There are people standing by. People who want to see the best thing happen, they will get support. Because people were trying to stop him, perhaps. People were trying to advance him. Like if you watch some of the videos, and one girl was testifying, she will give you an hour, which is a kind of the whole situation. So ask somebody, please give me 1 minute, let me call for backup. Load your phone. Okay. So I think the point of discharge, in the execution of policing, I think the officer, no matter how many persons were stabbed, there is no justification for how many persons were stabbed. I mean, yeah, we can polish it. We can sugarcoat it to make it appear that the disease. I mean, the disease was wrong. No, the disease can be considered wrong in what we are reading and what we are hearing, because the first line of restraint or the first line of responsibility was on the police.
Right.
Was on the police, not the accused person being arrested. Those citizens must be able to respect the police. Come back.
So, Patrick, what I'm hearing you saying is that the police officer, let's say he claimed he killed the individual in self-defense, is not valid.
Not valid. Self-defense doesn't even apply yet. No, self-defense does not apply yet. Look, under the law, police officers will face jeopardy. All right, but in an instance where the officer faces imminent, jeopardy, I mean, and looking at the person, because the person is not God. And I think I'm not sure it was the accused person running after the officer with the cutlass. I'm not sure it was he running after the officer with the cutlass. It was the officer who walked to him to arrest him. If I'm wrong, say you're wrong.
I'm listening. Like what? Okay.
I'm not sure the disease was the one on the street chasing officers with cutlasses.
Honestly, not. He went into his home.
I'm not sure. Okay. So if the disease was the one on the rampage, right? If he was the one on the rampage, maybe what to a depot, to a police depot, and try to get the police armed there. Self-defense can apply. Yeah. But the man was to his house, maybe somebody, okay. In fact, one account said there are two accounts on the situation. There are people who knew the man was disabled mentally, but they did not take after they saw him going on the rampage, causing trouble in the community. They did not take him to the mental home. To the mental home.
Yeah,
but instead,
do they have a mental home there too, though? Do they have mental home in Liberia? Excuse my.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
They do have mental homes in Liberia. So the man was causing trouble in the community. He was causing havoc. He was disturbing people, peaceful citizens.
I'm gonna hold you for a second because our boss is here. So let me see how I can bring him on. Let me see. Let
Okay,
me
no
see what's
problem.
my drum rope. Let me make sure I can welcome our boss on here. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
What? I have to remove our press. I have to do that stuff the right way. All right, people. We are gonna welcome our own CEO on here. Let's bring him on. Woo! Jump rope, jump rope, jump rope. All right. Okay, people. This is how I like to bring on our own CEO, the representative of the gas, and the man who knows how to do what he loves to do best. I mean, honestly, I just cannot fit in his shoes today. So I'm happy he's coming on, and I'm just gonna let him take over. Okay. All right. Welcome.
Hey,
Let's see. I don't know how to do this stuff to get you on here. Oh, all right. Let's see.
the
All
spokesperson of
right.
the guys, the elders.
The Ella.
Okay, great. That's great.
Okay. I think this is okay. All right, guys.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. But welcome.
Thank you, thank
I
you.
know you are watching us backstage, so let's hear from you.
But
First
first,
of
first,
all,
first, first thing, is my audio okay?
yes, it is
Yeah,
perfect.
it's
All
okay.
right. I like to say a gigantic, a ginormous kudos to the two of you for the wonderful job. I mean, when I was watching, I mean, my wife, when Shelly, you were making the introduction, she was like, who is she introducing? Who is she talking about? And I said, of course, it's the spokesperson of the elders and their ancestors. Shelly been in the business, Patrick, they been in the business. So when the spokesperson of the elders is not around, they have to do the proper introduction, or else somebody will be punished.
Somebody will be fired. I don't want to get fired.
Yeah, but on a serious note, thank you so much, you guys. I mean, I follow it. I'm quite impressed. If I'm not around, the people of Sano County, they have two quality people that can run the program. It shouldn't. If I'm not around, then the people should be deprived of information. I'm happy to have the both of you on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you for giving all the
You're most
opportunity
welcome.
to try, and
You're most welcome.
to have Patrick on, and Patrick definitely he is our voice in Liberia. He follow everything that's going on. So it kind of made it easier to just have him on and flow along with him. So
All right.
appreciate you, Patrick.
Yeah.
All
So,
right, well, you take over from where we
no,
started.
Shirley, the
Yes.
program is exclusively yours. You are running the show today.
No,
So
I quit.
you're gonna complete the task you started, so you have to continue. I mean, along the way, if you want me to give some support, I definitely can do that. But you are doing a good job. I can't take the gavel from you right now. So,
No, I want to
um,
give it to you. Honestly, take it.
No, 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 Shelly, Shelly, please remain there. Please remain there. Remain there, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Please.
Patrick, she's not going to relinquish the gavel when the gavel has not been taken from her.
My
So,
sister-in-law said I should remain there, so I feel very
Yeah.
honored to know that she is here and following through and woman powered, and think that I'm able to not fit in your shoe. Definitely, that's not my position today, but to just make sure that we can cover some important things that are happening. So before you came on, I know you've been watching. We're talking about the incident that took place with the staffing of multiple police officers. Just the fact that they went over, or one of them went over to arrest an individual who, according to the information, that he was mentally disabled. But they went there, or he went there, and killed him. Or in his defense, he was he was defending himself, so self-defense. So Patrick here make a lot of great points that, you know, first, if you are going into someone's home to arrest them, you need to have a backup. So he didn't have a backup, and in the process, the 3 or 2 people that he called as a backup, those people came in and also they got stabbed. So what is it? Were you not trained enough to go into someone's home knowing that the person has a weapon and you didn't have a backup, and you went to flex your muscle, think you can do it by yourself, and then the other people that went there along with you still couldn't get that accomplished peacefully. So there where we were. I mean, what's your take on that? I know you've been following.
Yeah, so this is what I think, right? I listened to Patrick's analysis, and he said the job of the police is to protect life and property, which is true, right?
Mhm.
But you know, I have some background in law enforcement, right? So
Okay.
it different from area to area, so it's not across the board. But if you went somewhere to make an arrest, right? First, you have different um, resistors, right? So you can have a non-moving resistor. Somebody, you go there, the person is just sitting down, and you give verbal command, and the person is now moving. That person will call the person non-moving resistor. But when you give a command and the person is stands up, for example, and they start to pace, that's a moving resistor. So at that point, the threat level is escalating, right? So once the person moves from sitting to moving and then getting physical with the officer, at that point you can use lethal force. Okay. So to the point where that the individual, the resistor involved, the victim involved was harmed police officers. I mean, at that point, the office, whether you are mentally disabled or not, we don't know your mental state at that point, right? But
Okay.
for the fact that you harm physically, you targeted police officers, they can use lethal force, which the officers did, the other guys that went there to support, right? So it's I mean, I don't know the true story, the whole picture, what actually went on in there, but once you become physical to an officer, he is right to use lethal force, which is gun. I mean, normally we have levels, right? So sometimes you can use the OCs, for example, but again, it depends the level of the threat to the officer. Okay, so once harm is involved, where somebody is wounded, no, you can't take it lightly. All right. Yes, you are there to protect life and property, but guess what? Your life also is at stake. You are one of the lives that you have to protect. Right. So you can't negate your own life, and then the person is harming you and others. You know. So I don't know the full story, but I just gave you a little bit from my little background. You know, in
So
terms of
but when
applying.
I
Yeah,
think before
so
Patrick come in, when the police director was giving, you know, his speech, he
Mhm.
kind of mentioned in a way that, you know, there was one officer there, and then another officer show up, then another officer show up. There was no point in his speech, unless I missed that there was a backup or 2 people together before the third person came in. So they would tell all that, okay, there were 2 officers, which is the me officer and a backup, but they all were there on a different time.
Right. So
okay.
but go ahead, Patrick. If you want to come in, go ahead.
Yeah. So to what our boss, this esoteric just made a point, trying to justify the police's
Yeah,
action.
self-defense.
But
Yeah.
yeah, self-defense. Under the criminal procedure law, because the police, everything the police does, and or police officers do, is guided by law. It is not at their own volition. So, on the criminal procedure law, chapter 10.3, it captions method of making arrest, force permissible. Methods of making arrest and force permissible. So, let's read something else to know exactly what is expected of the police. 10.1. An arrest is made by an actual restraint of the accused of a person to be arrested or by his submission to custody. 2. Permissible force. No unnecessary or unreasonable force shall be used in making an arrest, and the person arrested shall not be subjected. 1 minute, please. Okay. Shall not be subjected to any greater restraint than is necessary for his detention. Now, entering a building. Now, say the officer went to the main house. Entry into buildings. All necessary and reasonable force may be used to effect any arrest or to effect an entry into any property or building as part thereof to make an authorized arrest. So in what we say here, what we just read under the law, any arrest of a citizen should not, resort to any excessive force necessary. Shooting a man, even though he had a weapon and he allegedly stabbed an officer, taking his life was necessary? That's a question.
Patrick, again, you said excessive force, right? Again, you have to understand there is, before the officer got to that point, there is something they call the use of force continuum, right? So the use of force continuum has stages. Again, I don't know on a elaborate application of force. I don't know how it goes there, but from my perspective here, right, Patrick, to the point where the person involved has stabbed one of the officers. I mean, what else do you expect the officer to what? When you say the person has machete and the person is using the machete, or in Liberian English, cutlass, right, to chop an officer, Patrick, at that point you become dangerous. So the man can use a lethal force, which is the weapon. All right, you can't use OC or nothing at that point, because you become a physical aggressor towards the officer. So then they can use a lethal force. Unfortunately, at least from a vantage point, that's why it is. All right. So if the force to be described as excessive, right? Say for example, the person was sitting down, they're not moving, you give them command and they are obeying you. Or even they're standing and they're moving, right? And you give a verbal prompt and the person is obeying, and you take something, some aggressive action beyond that point, then it will be construed as excessive. But when you stop officer, Patrick, whatever the officer does after that, it's not considered excessive because you are a threat to the officer already.
Okay, so from what we have read or we have heard, the first officer was stabbed, the second was stabbed. So I believe it was the third officer that did the shooting. Shadi, am I correct?
No, I don't think the third officer. What I heard, I really don't get it, because I heard the third officer was the one that took the cutlass away.
Okay,
Right.
so the first officer was stabbed. Who did the shooting? The three officers. Which of them? At which time the shooting came about?
That I wasn't too sure. I think it was like the second officer that did the shooting. It wasn't clear, especially with the information that the director of police gave. With that
Okay.
video,
So the reason why I ask these questions, the intent of arrest is not to kill. That one. Two, the job description of police officers is also not to kill.
Patrick, is that
Why
necessarily
in fact,
true?
I coming. Why in fact the police, the police officers are giving arms? Why in fact? Why not all the officers are giving arms? Why certain people are giving arms? The PSU, the ERU, and other category of police officers. Why everyone doesn't carry arms? And there's a reason. On the security sector reform, when we were doing the police recruiting, they noticed that Liberian young people are already used to guns. They could discharge at any moment. Example, Chancellor SODs, Chancellor police forces to kill at any moment. At any given opportunity, you resist Chancellor police officer, you are dead. As a result, they say only those who are non-combatants will be enrolled into the police force. But everybody would not carry arms. And the reason why some people are giving arms is because they are getting special training how to use the arm. For instance, the man get gun, he had a weapon. He stopped a police officer. To shoot in his stomach would not be the direct result. You could shoot his leg. You could bullet his arm.
I think that was gonna be my point too, and I understand why this is saying, self-defense, where his life comes first too, but
because there's something they call deterrent in law enforcement. They don't say shoot in the stomach. In fact, the stomach, except maybe in hot pursuit, where the person is running ahead of you and you're running behind them. Maybe you can shoot them from the back, or maybe they're running coming to you. You can shoot them from maybe from the. But the things they strap on a human being to be shot. The stomach is not included. The head, the leg. The one we call the thigh. The shoulder. These are places you could shoot to disfigure the person, to bring them into restraint. Not the stomach. So what are we saying here?
So Patrick, at what point do you think the police officer will be in his right to use lethal force? Because
I agree with you.
Hold on before you come in, right? First, we'll have to, because again, I don't get the full story, right? But from what I'm hearing, 2 officers were already wounded by this suspect, right? 2 officers. So and the person, you have to understand, having a machete, we consider you to be armed. The person already has a weapon, right? So I'm following some of the comments, and people are saying, I think former president of USA, President Myers, saying the person should use the pepper spray, which we call the OC, right? If the person is armed, like the suspect in question here, the person is armed and the person has already harmed 2 officers. At that point, the person is very, very dangerous, okay? You don't go, and what you're talking about deterrent force, no, the person is dangerous already, and you can use, again, the office. I don't know the Liberian laws when it comes to use of force, but at that point, once you become physically aggressive or you have a weapon and you are discharging it at the officers, at that point, they can neutralize you, unfortunately. All right, you can be.
Yes,
I think the argument is
right.
It wasn't not a part on his body that they could just shoot. Why?
Yes.
So Madison, I agree with you that at the time the officers came into imminent danger. At the point the officer was in imminent danger, or the officers were in imminent danger, or there was a complete jeopardy, they got no choice. But the rules describe or prescribe, ways to go about it.
Let's see, people are saying, they said the officer wearing in danger. So, but let's listen to the IG a little bit here again.
This brief is about officer involved shooting following multiple stabbing incident in the Congo Town area. On October 8, 2025, at approximately 14:58 hours, the Liberia National Police radio room received a distress call reporting that a police officer had been stabbed multiple times near the OLACC building in Congotown. Responding officers identified themselves as police officers and ordered the suspect to surrender. After repeated verbal commands were ignored, officers attempted to breach the door. The suspect charged with a cutlass, striking and deeply wounding a second officer. The wound was still on his arm when he raised his hand to protect his head from being hit with the cutlass. A third officer intervened and successfully disarmed the suspect of the cutlass, unaware that the suspect had a concealed knife tucked in his pants. The suspect then stabbed the third officer in the thigh and attempted another thrust towards his abdomen. Facing an immediate mortal danger and in accordance with LMP use of force continuum, one of the officers discharged his service weapon, instantly neutralizing the threat and preventing further harm to his colleagues. The suspect and
Shirley and Patrick, assuming what the RG just said is correct, right? The use of force, using lethal force, was justified because you know what he said? They got a call of multiple starving incident, right? And then the officer got there and he said the officer will also starve repeatedly, multiple times as well. And he also said the officers that were there, they gave repeated verbal command, all right? Which the guys were following the use of force continuum, right? You had to give some verbal command, which is repeated. And you saw the images, whether it's propaganda or not, I'm not too sure. But right, when you have people, the man used his arm to defend his hair from being chopped up, right? And that's how you got chopped on the hand. The other guy from his thigh, and you are moving towards to stabbing the other person in the abdomen, in the stomach. The person is a danger. At that point, the use of force, at least based on my understanding, based on my training, is justified. Okay, the person is a serious threat. Yes.
Well, Madison, so I'm reading some of the comments here that says that the police were aware that this person was mentally ill. So
yeah,
going to a situation like that,
go ahead,
Sarah. Saying, going to a situation like that, you have to be prepared. Or the first person that was there who have seen the call light or knife with the person that called for the back up, should have already informed those people the situation they are coming to. So I understand his life comes first too, but I'm just saying, like, they were not prepared though. Can we argue that?
Yeah, everything is arguable, Shirley, but you got to understand, somebody cannot make a call and say this person is mentally disabled. Who are you? Are you a medical? Did you get?
But they said those information were given out to them. The police knew about those information.
Shirley, the only time you can be medically diagnosed or mentally disabled if you have medical report to that effect. The police, they are professional people, right? They don't go on anecdotal story or whatever people say out there. You have to give this is a professional entity, and somebody can ask, oh, this is a crazy man. How do you know this person is crazy? You don't know for sure. You don't have the person's medical history. So you can't add on what is being speculated. But Patrick, go ahead.
If the police RG justifies the action of the officers, he just confirms, the unruly behavior, of police unprofessionalism on his watch. At every given situation, police will shoot down innocent citizens. The police in this instance case did not get in any harm way because it was not the man who was chasing them. He was not the one using his cutlass going after them in the streets or to the police depot. But even in the application of force, excessive or reasonable I mean, there could have been an avoidance of death. Death could have been inevitable. You can break that. You could break that man's leg. But if I guess what, I just listened to a video in which 8 shots, 8 bullets went into the guy's stomach. What kind of force is that? What kind of force? What kind of force?
After when you chop up 2 officers, if you chop up 2 officers, you don't deserve to live.
You chop up 2 officers that did not die. 2 officers that did not die.
You don't deserve to live, but the 2 officers are alive.
2 officers that did not die. I mean, you are not saying the man killed 2 officers, though. He didn't kill 2 officers, brother. He stabbed 2 officers. You have not died.
You know the intent of that person was to kill the officers.
The point is, the officers did not die, but 8 bullets went into one man's stomach. For what?
You guys are looking at it from a civilian perspective, right? But from a law enforcement perspective, right? You cannot, number one, once the officer comes to you and you have a weapon, Patrick, the use of force automatically it goes up like dramatically because you possess a weapon. And plus, you are a moving resistor, okay? You are not taking command from the officer. At that point, Patrick, you either listen to the officer or you're dead, unfortunately. So in the case of what we are talking about right now, this suspect or whatever the person want to characterize it, the person chop out the first officer and they chop out the second officer. And you guys are saying the discharge of the officer weapon is excessive force? It's not. The person is dangerous. You know why the person chop out the officer? They want to kill the officer. All right? Again, we are going off of the story that we are looking at right now based on the IG report. The officer, they did the basic. They gave repeated verbal command to the person, and the person is not listening. Okay? And the person is harmed, the person harmed 2 persons. Patrick, in law enforcement, the officers are in their right, following the use of force continuum to use lethal force. They're not wrong. Again, I'm not looking at
legal force doesn't suggest that.
No, Patrick. Again, that's why we have escalation, right? So when you are a sitting resistor, right? We can't test you at that time. You are not resisting. We can't use physical. We can't test you physically. We can't put your hands on you when you are sitting down. That means you are not moving resistor. You are just sitting down. Okay, that's okay. What we will do is we'll just put the barricade around you, right? So that you can do more. So, but once you stand, guess what? The threat level has intensified, right? To the officer. So when you stand up and then you take a step again, you are becoming more aggressive. Based on the continuum, the threat level, the use of force from the police side, it goes up. Okay. So when you get to the point where the person has a weapon, Patrick, you are in your right to use lethal force, especially when at the point where the person actually apply that weapon, chop out the first one and chop out the first officer, you will be extinguished.
Well, thank you guys. I think we have other topics to go through.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask one more question concerning this, and then we can move on to our other topic that we have. So my question to you both, right? With the situation that took place, was it something where death, like they could have been avoided?
Patrick, you want to take a stab at the question first? Go ahead. I don't want to have a monopoly.
Yes. Death was avoidable.
Okay.
Yes. Death was imminently avoidable, but the officers chose deliberately. They chose deliberately, maliciously, willfully. I mean, to just take another hungry man's life. That was avoidable. That guy could have been shot on the arm. He could have been shot in the leg. He could have been shot on the hand. He could have been shot on the thigh. Even his buttock could be taped. I mean, many ways. I mean, a fleshy part of his body, you you could take it. I mean, any way other than his chest, or his stomach. Those are things officers in the application of or in the discharge of firearm, the chest and the stomach. These are places they are advised in the discharge of firearm in restraining people. Those are places. But again, it boils down to training. This guy stayed 9 months, 1 year plus at police academy. Nobody knows what they do there. I mean, what kind of training they want to go there that when they come from there, they begin to this inking job. And we got incidents of police shooting inking job that led to citizens death there? Of course, yes. They happened there. It got another one that happened in Mangibi? Of course, yes. And we got another one happening. Right day for yesterday. Another guy had a gun on himself, arresting one little girl. The girl kind of jack on him all over the place. I mean, I don't know how these guys conduct themselves to the extent that the citizens will not even show them respect and honor. Something is wrong somewhere. And I think why it's true that citizens should not be aggressive towards police officers, but officers in the discharge of their duty in effecting arrests should not also use force that will take lives of innocent people.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, Pat.
Shelley.
Let hear from you, CEO, so we can close
So,
on this.
Shelley, unfortunately, ironically, again, Patrick is speaking maybe from a journalistic perspective or from an activist perspective, which is fine. But from
But he say your own, you say your own. Just
yeah, so from the perspective of law enforcement, right? From the perspective of law enforcement, like I already laid out, Patrick is a journalist, right? So there are certain ethical principles in journalism that you have to follow. Say, for example, if you are reporting a story, you don't just take one side of the story. You have to make sure and get multiple voices on that story to corroborate whatever the other person says or to validate or invalidate, right? So you got certain standards that you have to follow. It's the same thing in law enforcement. You have, again, the use of force continuum that guides you. That's how you work. That's your role model. That's your GPS. It tells you when to take certain action and when not to take certain action. All right. So based on what the IG said, okay, I'm going off of just that line of reasoning alone. The receiver call of multiple stabbing incident. Okay, the officers went there, and then an officer was also multiple times stabbed. That's what he said, and they show you images on the screen, and they said 2 officers got stabbed. All right, and I listened to RG. He said they gave repeated verbal command instruction, and this person is still not cooperating. All right, the person has a weapon, which is the machete. The person is not holding the machete to do hallelujah, to praise you. They're holding the machete and they are applying the machete. The intent is to kill you, the officer. All right. So within that period, with given the variables available at that point, the officer is justified to use lethal force, which is the weapon that he used. Okay. You can't wait for the man to cause more damage. And Patrick will say, you shoot the man leg. No, you are there to neutralize that person at that point, given the use of force or continuum. You can use the guys, at least what I'm looking at, the guy is not wrong to do what he did. People are talking about, oh, the person is crazy. No medical report to justify that. We can't go off or that. You can say, oh, the person crazy, that crazy man. How do you know? Is that regular citizen that can denounce or announce people are being crazy? It's the medical professional that can do that. Okay, so we don't know whether the person is crazy or not. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate both of you for your point. But what I'm going to say on there is, I think in that situation, if the police officer who are supposed to be trained to save lives, who are used, because there were people around who knew the individual, who are telling them this man is crazy, something wrong with him.
Shelley, wait a second. Let me ask you something.
What
Okay.
was that?
That was the incident that occurred, right? But we don't know what actually went on the inside that led to the discharge of the firearm, right?
Oh,
So,
there,
but let's
there was like more than one.
yeah, if the person, if you discharge the firearm and you still being aggressive towards the officer, they can discharge it again. Yeah, sorry, Shirley, you guys are activists.
Yeah, you refuse to follow you. Why you fighting again?
Why according to you recording? You see, now
You fighting her?
Talking my share. You talking my share. You talking my share. Everybody is talking my share. You made fear me. What you do?
Now what you doing?
Leave my share. Leave my share.
Look at you. You ain't even see you. You fighting over here, man. You want to fight? Ain't recording? Ain't recording?
You.
That's I just it's a disturbing video, right? Those are disturbing videos, right? But Shirley and Patrick, again, from a law enforcement perspective, right? Somebody got Patrick, you want to mute yourself? Somebody got
I think
Yeah,
that's-
go ahead.
How can you justify that?
What?
The video we just watched. How can you justify that?
What? There are two videos. Which one are you referring to? The last one?
The one
There are
where
two videos. Which one are you referring to? The last one?
officers pulling the girl clothes. Pulling the girl clothes.
He said, Shirley, unfortunately, you're on the echoes. One of you get your audio on, you got another device on.
I muted him.
Okay. So, Shirley, first of all, I don't know how.
Patrick, I think
You gotta mute yourself, Patrick.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you're good. So the first thing, Shirley, I don't know how the girl and the officer they got in contact, right? Physically, we just saw the video at the point where they were just holding each other, right? That's the portion I saw. But Patrick, at that, Shirley, when the officer comes to arrest you, and you take your hand and put it on the officer, again, you become an aggressor. All right, the man is coming, he came to make an arrest, and you are physically holding your uniform and fighting him. You see, Sally, you live in the US. When the last time you ever saw somebody put their hand on a police officer and they go home scot-free? Because again, once you become physical towards the officer, you put threat to yourself. First of all, the officer has the weapon, number one, for deterring. And guess what? That weapon is not deterring you. You are physically getting at the person. So that means you are trying to do something that would extinguish the officer. That why you are doing that. So at that point, the officer can do anything to you. The girl should not have fought the officer. She should have let, because first of all, hold on, let me finish. You know why he said, when we listen to that video, he repeated multiple times, leave my shirt multiple times. And the girl still holding his shirt. All right. He said it verbally, leave my shirt. I don't support police violence, right? But you as a citizen, you have to know this man is an authority figure. He enforces the law. So he came over there, something went wrong. He came to enforce the law. When you become physical towards the officer, they can do anything to you, unfortunately. I'm not supporting violence. I'm not defending violence. But based on my background, what I learned, that's how the guys are operating. They get the format, they go by. When you see certain level, they do certain thing to you. Yeah, unfortunately.
But he was holding her shirt too, Madison. Did you see that?
He went to make arrests.
Well, but the fact is, it's kind of like me and my child, who I have so much authority over, and trying to discipline her, and I'm there.
And the child is fighting you. Don't dodge it. And the child
I'm
is
not
fighting you.
touching that point. I'm about to say the child. First of all, the child has no. The child will give you that respect, right? So you there holding the child clothes, and the child holding your clothes, and you telling the child, say, "Leave my clothes." At that point, both of you are equal.
No, you are not.
Oh yeah, you guys are.
First, Charlie, let's get the language straight here, right? The analogy doesn't even hold in the first place. The child and
You
the
say your
parent.
own, I say my own. Dad.
Yes, okay. The child and the parent analogy doesn't hold. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, in the first place, the girl's action is condemned in the strongest term. She lacks basic civil discipline. Yeah. She was very unscrupulous, and I think she should be punished for her action. Notwithstanding, the police officer also presented himself very unprofessionally. When you go arrest people, I know where officers take the idea from. They want to drag you like a cow to the creek. Hold your clothes by all means. Who says that's how it's supposed to be? Hold a lady's blouse and you expose her to nakedness in fact. Who says that's how it's supposed to be? Look, when a person resists your arrest, the law says call for someone, meaning retreat. Because the person will not stay in the bush in the first place. Retreat or ask for citizens' help. Call for backup. You don't have to put yourself through all that stress, holding her clothes, trying to get her by all means necessary. What if in that rest you were doing yesterday? What if the arm had discharged? What would happen? So I think he presented himself very unprofessionally. But here, in this instance case, the girl is the aggressor. She lacks basic civic discipline, and I'm not too sure she even went to school. I'm not sure. If she did, then her education is very. Then it is question. Yeah.
So I'm not disputing. I'm not telling. Let Patrick. Mute Patrick. So I'm not disputing her action. I'm just saying authority is given when you stand for it. So that officer in that situation, if I was him, exercise your authority. Why are you holding her clothes and even going back and forth with her? Like, leave my clothes. You holding my clothes. No, you leave my clothes. So exercise your authority. You don't even need to be holding her clothes. You are there to arrest her. And if she come close to you,
how do you make an arrest without holding the person?
Why you need to hold the person to arrest them?
How do you make an arrest if you don't get in contact with the person?
He is in contact with her, Madison. The fact that she is holding his clothes and he is like holding her clothes.
Remain on mute for a second. Yeah, go ahead, Shirley.
I understand he needed to be close to her to arrest her, right? So you got a handgun and start to arrest somebody, use that. But you holding their clothes to prove what kind of points at the point of you getting her half naked? That power struggle for me. There was power struggle.
So again, when I saw the video at the point where they were in contact, right? So we didn't see the other steps that follow for the officer to actually maybe getting physically in contact with her. We didn't see that part of it. They were already in contact, right? But again, Shirley, you don't put your hand on an officer. I don't know, in the context of Liberia, the first thing the officer should have done is to get the person in a handcuff, right?
Exactly my point.
Yeah, so when you put somebody in a handcuff, you still get in contact with the person.
And
so
I'm not just doing that, Madison. I am not. I'm just saying that.
Let me
I think I have to come here. I have to come here. You see,
yeah,
we are making the point.
Let me land. Then you guys can come. Let's do it one at a time.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, but for you, I have to control my show, okay? So I will let Madison Philip Patrick, you come on.
All right. So
And Madison, when I'm talking my point, do not cut me out. First, I want to finish my point before I let you go on.
okay, boss lady.
What I will say about this,
Uh-huh.
of course, yeah, we did not see the beginning of the video. We only got it in the middle or so. But at that point where the officer noticed that the girl is putting his clothes, officer, first of all, did you go over there without a hanger? And you have your gun? So I feel like it was a power struggle with he and the girl, and he did not use his authority or his power wisely.
Okay, you tell who the next person to speak now will speak.
I will
now.
ask you to speak, Madison, and then I let Patrick close on us. And you guys do not want me to move to my next topic today, but let's finish this up.
I mean, to reiterate, there are a couple of things. I mean, at least from what we saw, right? Number one, you have somebody in uniform. Two, you have somebody who has a weapon, okay? And you have a regular citizen in a regular outfit, a female. And this female is wrestling with the police officer. I mean, you're talking about handcuff, for example. I don't know we don't know, Liberia, the officers are challenged in so many ways. So maybe they never had the handcuff, so he has to use his hands as handcuff to make the arrest. I'm not too sure, but the guys are challenged in so many ways. But Shirley, to the point where you see somebody with weapon, with gun, and you're still holding the person, you are fighting the person, something is wrong with you. You don't value your own life, okay? I don't support, again, police brutality, but you can't see somebody with gun in their hand. They enforcing law, and you are fighting the person physically. I mean, unfortunately, I'm glad that nothing happened to her. She didn't die, but she was out of line. She was totally out of line. But Patrick, go ahead.
Patrick, go ahead.
Okay, so again, the girl's action is condemnable, but the officer equally presented himself very unprofessionally. The officers need more training in this country. They need more training. They need to be brushed up again. I think what they are doing in our academy there is not anything. We need an advanced police academy that instills discipline, professionalism, and sound education in the officers so that they know. In the first place, effecting an arrest does not require you dragging the person to the police station. No. It is never laid there it is never laid down in the police handbook that you must drag the person. The first line of restraint is handcuffing. That's why you see, officer will not handcuff you if you are compliant, if you are cooperating. They will not handcuff you. But where from the introductory part of the whole arrest, and you prove resistible or recalcitrant, of course, the first thing you put up is a handcuff. And to handcuff somebody, you don't need to hold their clothes. It's not their clothes you're going to hold. You fight to get their hand. And in a police training, there's always a tactic. It's a tactic to get a person's hands to their back and then to the ground. So whatever way it is, if the person cooperates with you, well, you can put their hands to their back and handcuff them. What they prove recalcitrant, or should I say unlawful, you get them to the ground with their hands on their back, with your knee on their back, and handcuff them. You don't have to hold their clothes. So I don't know where our new training coming from, that police officers are being holding people close now, and say let's go. No, I don't think so. I think that was very unprofessional. That was very uncalled for, and that was very illegal.
So Madison, before we move on to the next, Sorry, Patrick, I have to mute you. Before we move on to the next topic, I've noticed that people have been sending me messages that they've been contributing, and we need to look at their contribution here in the comment section. Unfortunately, I don't get to see all of it. Are you able to see?
Yeah, I'm seeing the comments. Yeah.
Okay, do you want to address some of them?
Well, I can put them up so we can look at them and react to them. So I will
Okay.
start from the last comment here.
I'm gonna mute mine because I think they have comment on my personal stuff because I'm going live on there, and then I can send those comments to you too. So I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So Prince Double, my man Patrick was saying, GDS CNN, the man said, so the officer went to arrest the lady without handcuffs, Patrick Bolu. All right, so again, we can't tell for sure whether the officer has handcuff or not. You know, again, the guys are challenging Liberia. He said that officer shouldn't have called for backup, but the lady should be punished. Okay. I mean, whether that one person, Prince, or two, you always need a backup. You know, it's far more easier than, you know, you alone doing it. Good evening, family. I'm following closely. Okay, thanks for following. We have Madam Francis Clamayo. How can a crazy man take command? We don't know for sure. Nobody has access to the person's medical record, so we can't say the person is crazy or not. We can't speak to that. So we can't go off a story. The community in which he lived know him best. Okay, Madam President, the community does not diagnose people. It's medical professionals that do that. All right, so we can't say because the community says it, therefore the person is crazy. No, we can't say that. Repeated calls to a crazy. I mean, or Prince is also saying.
So, Princess, we know the president comment. I sent you some comment from my page. So in our group chat, could you kind of like look at those? And
okay, let's see.
Because I have people that are viewing from my page as well. So yeah.
Okay. So the person, I mean, say Nestor, this is just wrong from the lady, and the bystanders didn't help the scene. Despite she being a lady, it is uncouth to grab a state security in such manner. Okay, that's what Nestor said. Nestor also said, why should Shirley Snen be condescending to the art of the lady? Shirley, were you condescending to the art of the lady?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So our police needs some symposium. At this point, for me, I don't see why the police officer need training. I didn't see any excessive force. The guys are acting within their scope based on what I saw I believe, at least through the videos. So I mean, I can't say they are going. They need, like Patrick said, they need follow trainings and stuff. I don't think so. I didn't see anything.
You don't think they need training?
No, they need bread. I mean, you need that, or what you call it, refresher, but for sure. But what based on what they did, I don't see unprofessionalism. No, I didn't see anything unprofessional. If you chop my friend or one time, you chop the second person, and you say I should come and put my hands up, or I should shoot you in the toe. No.
Okay, you're so good. All right, we're gonna move on to our next point. We appreciate each of you for contributing.
So there's a lot of comments here. Maybe we can go through the comments at the end of the show if you don't mind. So yeah, but let you run the show. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to also really cover this, and then we can come back to the comments and be able to read you guys' comment. But I really want to go over Comer's speech or his interview on Spoon Talk, and you know some of the points that he made, and just to go over those points and ask each of you to see if those points were valid or you see something wrong with those points, and then also to go over the response of the information minister because he responded to his interview. Some of the points that he made, he said the government have not done anything for the past 2 years since they've been there. He also said that education on a scale from 1 to 10, he would grade is 0. And he want the government to succeed. There was some of the stuff that he talked about. and so forth. But I mean, like, did you guys first of all had the opportunity to watch that interview?
Who are you asking? You tell
Or
us
for
who-
you?
No, we can't talk at the same time. Who do
Okay,
you
yes.
want?
Okay, well, I will ask my brother first, Patrick.
All right.
And Patrick, you are on mute. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I followed Cummings' interview with the Spoon Network. I think it was a beautiful interview. The first most important interview he has ever done in 2025. And I think from the interview, I see some changes in his line of politics moving forward. He was very professional. He was very calm. He was very patriotic in his comments and reactions. And I think he spoke to the issues affecting Liberia. He spoke to the issues in real context. And regarding the statement that nothing has changed, it's difficult. It's difficult for anybody, whether in the diaspora, you live on the ground, it's difficult to ascertain whether anything can change in Liberia anytime soon. Look, when people say sometimes things are changing, or things have changed under a particular president, it is just a lot of fanatic impression. Sometimes people want to justify what their government is doing. People want to impress the president or maybe the government of the day. People want to say things just to make themselves happy. But practically in Liberia, Cummings, I agree with him that everything as invasion is not 100%. Yeah, that few things that are shaping, few things are being improved. One, for example, electricity in the country right now it becomes stable, but it is not all over. It is not affecting every population. But we can give electricity to what to the broadcast regime. It's honestly stable. Yeah, it is honestly stable. Another thing, maybe from Cummings' own reaction, we can see road connectivity. The government is not building roads, yes, but its ideas, its strategies to maintain the roads in the rural areas, especially southeastern region, I think that is commendable as well too. There's something maybe we should point out change. That is something we can point to as change. So fundamentally, so many things are wrong with this country, and anybody saying things have changed will be out of fanaticism. But in political sense, the system, and to see that something has changed in any democracy, in any country, it is a system that shows something has changed. It is not people. It is not individuals. And all these pending laws we make around here about change. It is a system that says whether or not something has changed. And to conclude, now he talks about education. Whether education has improved also too? No, education has not improved. And that's why in my ending, you should put all that picture I say in the chat room. Put that picture.
Okay.
Yeah, put that picture to see whether anywhere before the war or after the war, whether we could see such behavior in school, such action in school. So education remains a mess. Liberian students, only a few out of self-confidence are trying, out of self-assurance are making efforts, are making strides, but on the overall, education is something that is still, backward.
So before I let Madison come, sorry, Patrick. Okay, before I let Madison I don't know, I need to mute you before I
To
talk.
mute you before I talk.
Got you. I have one question to ask you. Is this statement from him, do you think is a truthful or honest statement when he said, I want the government to succeed because if that happens, there will be food on the table of the ordinary people? As a politician,
As a
now,
politician,
Yeah. Okay. So yes. So that statement is patriotic. That statement is honest, and that statement is democratic. Where where I what I differ is that when you said for food to get on the table, look, people don't need food. People don't need food. People don't need the things government says it is doing. People only need one thing. They need opportunities for employment. People just need one thing to achieve their self, to achieve their self-aggrandizement, their self-potential. What they need is job, work. They need to work. Everybody in Europe, everybody in America. I mean, they're asking the government to get them food. They're asking the government to get them anything. All they have always asked of the government is the time to work. There should be work. So everybody working. And as everybody works there, everybody makes money. They got adequate food. They pay their bills, children in school. So the thing here, when he said the government should succeed, it is right, it is honest, it is democratic, and it is in line with patriotism and nationalism. When the government succeeds, it makes it easier for the next government after that government to progress. Because the time you take to go to repair the damage caused by a failing government, I mean, it also delays your own 6 years. You see why America makes progress? Because one president leaves a mark. One president after the other leaves a legacy. And that legacy is built on by the incoming president, and it continues like that. See the whole country, see how you enjoy. Look at your faces. Eh? Look at my face. Look at my face.
Never also, man.
Yeah, look at my face here. Look at your face, please. So yeah, one president keeps failing. From one president to the other keeps failing. And as one president fails, the other president comes and fails, and the other president comes and fails. And it just comes as a vicious cycle. And all of us, we just get stuck inside like hell, and then we bear the brunt. And that was happening. So Cummings is right to say, let Bouakai succeed, let Bouakai government prosper, let the nation prosper, so that when he comes in as president, he will have an easy ride. So that he will have other things to be taken care of. And I agree with him, honestly.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, CEO. Let's hear from you.
Oh well, the interview, I mean, as usual, rhetorically, Mr. Cummings, he's always on point. What I have problem with is the specifics, right? He has the metaphor where he talks about making the bowl of rice, bigger, right? He says that all the time, right? He wants the bowl of rice to grow bigger so everybody can have something to eat, right? But I don't get specifics from him as to how to make the bowl bigger, right? He says some stuff such as, for example, we need to call wasteful spending, for example, right? But I see that as political cliche, right? All the politicians, they say these things. Oh, we have to call wasteful spending. We have to eliminate corruption. But what concrete physical administrative action you would take to curtail or if not eliminate corruption in Liberia? What are the areas, in government, for example, that you caught to save money? So he's not specific, right? And that's the thing about Cummings. With the statement you're talking about, I think if you're a scrupulous politician, that's something that you have to say. Like Patrick said, if you are somebody who patriotic, who loves, your country, you definitely want to wish the person in power to do well so that the citizen will make progress. Unless you are a diabolical politician, then of course you want the person to fail, so that you can say, you know what, the person can make it. I would be the best person to do. I want the person to fail. But then once you say that, once you say, oh, the person should fail, in essence, you are saying the people to continue to suffer, right? Because the person is leading a group of people, So, but another thing I want to say with Cummings, right? The ANC leader, I don't see the prospect of him. I mean, it's possible, but the probability of him actualizing his vision is still far-fetched, because I don't see the numerical growth in terms of, during election. First, he had like 7%. And then the second round, he got 1%. Now, how can you go from 7 to 1%? So I don't see him easily in the executive action. All right. I don't see how he's going to bring a vision to fruition. And another issue I have with Mr. Cummings is, I think his appetite for the presidency. You see, when Joe Weah came from the soccer field, he did the same thing. He made the same mistake. He wanted to be president from the soccer field, right? And the people said no. So he went back and ran as vice president to Winston Tubman. He didn't get it. And the people advised him and said, you know what, Judge, go for senatorial seat, start from the Liberian Senate. And he went there before going to the executive action. Mr. Cummings does not even want to be a representative. He does not want to be a senator. He wants to be president, from Coca-Cola, He wants to go in our executive action. All right. And the thing is, the mistake that people make is they think that once you are a business person, you can become a good president. And it's not always the case. We have a businessman right now who's in power in the United States, and the country is the chaos, So you don't necessarily, the fact that you come from corporate America and you are a business person, it does not necessarily mean that if you get to you become president, you'll be a good president. And I'll be honest, maybe at this point about to be controversial, which I don't mind doing. I am a pro-indigenous person. Okay, I think we had a conversation the other time, Shelley. I think the name Cummings alone scares me, right? Cummings. It's not Shelley. It's not. I don't know what Shelley is. That's the indigenous name. That's another thing. But it's not Sayopute, for example, right? It's not Bolu, Patrick Bolu. It's Cummings. So the idea of bringing the Taylors, the Shelleys, and the Cummingses, and these people, I think they have not done well for us. When I say us, I'm talking about we, the majority, the indigenous people. When they come, oftentimes they tend to cater to themselves. Ellen got there, she vilified, she disparaged President Doe, and the man is nepotistic. But what was she doing? She got her children all in all the bureau ministries. The same nepotism she was crying over. She decried Doe. She was practicing the same thing. So I think I want a good indigenous guy to take over the presidency in Liberia. We got terrible ones. The government right now is all indigenous people, but I think we got the wrong people in power. We have to get the wrong people, the right people in authority to change. The American Liberian, they had the opportunity for 133 years to do something in Liberia to change that country to a paradise, and they failed. They ran the country like family business. And nothing. So bringing back a Cummings, it just I don't see it, and that's why the Liberian people they gained 7%, and now the second round you gain 1%, because they don't want to repeat history, So Shelley, that's how I see it right now. His vision, again, rhetorically, it sounds good. On paper, there are a lot of politicians. They say all the beautiful things when they get to power. Shelley, you're a politician by training. That's what you guys do. You study.
Training, like get that past grades. Okay, I did political science in school, so I'm not a politician by training.
Oh,
okay?
So, but if you did political science, who are you? A politician, right?
I'm not.
So that's for training. Shelley, that's all I mean.
Anyway, let me ask the same question that I asked Patrick with his last statement, or one of his statements about wanting the president or the current administration to succeed. Do you find that statement as a truthful statement or honest statement or something he was just saying because he wanted to say it?
I think it's a politically astute statement. Politically. I mean, you have to understand Cummings is a politician now, right? So you have to speak politically. Politically, it's the right thing to say. So that's what they call political correctness, right? The man is speaking, he's trying to be politically correct. So what is the right thing to do if somebody is in power to wish the person harm? But what it is nationalistic, I mean, that's another thing. But I just think to just be short is politically correct. That's the right thing to say politically. But if we want to go and look at the nuances, if you want to take, for example, for me to pull on my esoteric and critical hat, I mean, I don't see as such, because like Thomas Aquinas said, the past is the key to the present. What Cummings was with Coca-Cola. I mean, we don't see a lot of things in Liberia, at least from him, So why you think with the guys now? I mean, Boyka is in power. He automatically he loves Liberia. He wants, the president to do well. He didn't build one Coca-Cola factory in Liberia to employ our people. These people, the notion that they should become president to do something for the Liberian people, or when they want the presidency, then they set up the Bocas Foundation. They say, oh, we get Cummings Foundation, we get Patrick Bolu Foundation, we get Shirley Foundation. When they want power, that's when they do these things. But when they don't want power from the people, they don't care. But that's all I gotta say.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate both of your points. I want to close on this and will say that I think his interview was great. He focused on a lot of important things. And I love the fact that he is looking or was really, let's say, open to speak out on what the current government is doing. That you cannot be a leader of poor people and using poor people resources to buy cars that will add no value to anyone's life, but you are buying cars and you are using the poor people resources, and yet we do not have good health care. We do not have a great education system for our children, our future leaders. And I saw something on Facebook that one of my cousins posted and listed the representative and the senator and their pay, what they're making versus what they sorry, my daughter. They are making versus what the teacher and the nicest doctors are making. And to me, that is really sad because it seems that they are not focusing on things that are important for our people. They are focusing on things that are not important. But we're going to move on to our last topic here.
But Jerry, before you go on, I think the government should try Mr. Cummings, right? The president saying he wants the president to succeed, right? I think the president should find a way to absorb him in the administration and see whether he's going to take a position. Because all the ideas he has, so he can help the government to implement it, at least because if you work with the government succeeds, you can say, you know what, when I was not in government, the government was not functioning properly, but now I'm in and this is what we did, So I think President Boyka should consider giving Cummings a position, and see whether he's going to take it. When he takes a position, I know that, he cares, he wants to help the government to succeed, Yeah.
Got you. Okay, Patrick, do you have a final point? I see you laughing over there. Do you have a final point that you want to make before we move on here?
Yeah, I think Cummings has great presidential potentials. Yeah, he has great potentials, and he can be a great president. But and recently, I saw a video where somebody was confessing something about Cummings. What is said about Cummings? What is invented about Cummings? I think the stigma place of Cummings in 2017. Yeah, 2017. Even though he survived a little, by coming by going 7%. But I think that stigma still is a play on him 2023, and that stigma of being a gay. So there's a guy who confessed that he invented that stigma in 2017 for Josh Weir. Yes, he invented that lie because when Cummings came to the country, honestly, in 2017, I mean, he was a great guy. He was loving. People follow him. I mean, his prestige was very high. How it went low, I mean, remains a misery. But I think he can be a great president. But whether he can put a number on his side in the face of George Weah and Joseph Walker, or somebody replacing Joseph Walker, that is an issue right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to ask a question before you make a transition, right? I mean, I think Patrick raised an important issue with the sexuality of Mr. Cummings, right? When Stanton asked him the question about whether he is gay or not, I mean, he came forcefully. I mean, actually, he called it bullshit. Sorry for my French, but that's what he said, right? I mean, what do you make of the language employed by Mr. Cummings? You don't see it as a temperamental issue as a politician, and they ask you something about your sexuality? Yes.
I think. Yeah, I think the response was very sarcastic rather than explanatory or dispelling. Yeah. But here's the issue. Look, if something ruins the reputation, if something ruins a career, if something ruins your life, your family, I mean, you become overly frustrated, and anything that comes your way as a response will be given out. And I think what happened to Cummings. Look, this gay stigma, that has been placed on Mr. Cummings. And I know, I think he has battled it for some time. He tried to it as a nothing in the Liberian context, because Liberian people couldn't forget something. But politically, it ruined him. Politically, I mean, it brought him down to, I mean, can you imagine, from 7% to 1%, it diminished him. It politically dislodged him from the face of politics. So to come back, he needed something to hold on. And I think his choice of words were the ones he thought he could rely on to say, I mean, to describe it the way he described it. Yeah, but it still did not answer the question, and it still did not satisfactorily dispel the Roman or aspect that has to do with stigma. It did not erase anything. Well, I thought you should have come up very professionally, in a more explanatory, in a more explicit manner that convinces people about his sexuality being true or lie. And now that in fact somebody has already confessed about the whole situation, about being an invention on him, calculated by the paid by the CDC, just for to make Josh Weah president in 2017. Now is the time to come back now to be more explanatory so that he can be vindicated. And what his vindication will also bring about, people around him now raise the morale. We can tell. That can be guaranteed.
Okay, great.
So, but Shirley, I know you got the weed, but Patrick, I don't understand when you say stigma, right? This stigma, I think Cummings created it for himself. I remember when he had the interview with the late Mamadi, when the man asked him that question about his sexuality, I can remember his word vividly. He says it's a lifestyle that I struggle with, right? And that what brought the whole thing on him. When the man asked him, he says it's a lifestyle that I struggle with. So I don't know how is it that he jumps from, that's a lifestyle I struggle with to becoming bullshit now. But yeah, that's something we can talk about another day. But Shelley, go ahead.
I mean, that's why we're trying to defend himself. Like, I don't want to talk about this.
Is that an effective? That Patrick said, is that an effective defense?
I would not. I mean, like, in his defense, he was there to talk about other issues, not his personal life. So I don't know, but yeah, let's move on. And I think our next topic of those pictures that Patrick had on there. Let me see if I have the flare here. I do. Okay.
Shirley, moderator, quickly before you go, did you guys do a shout out to people that celebrated their
I
birthdays?
can do that now. We're gonna
Okay.
take a little break. Funny pictures here. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I put some pictures in there too. I mean, to help
Okay,
you.
let me get
Yeah.
us up here and get our first pressing up here. Ooh, okay. Our own Sir Boyd. I call him the most dressed, handsome man in Philadelphia. Celebrated his birthday, I think, a few days ago. So I want to wish him a happiest birthday. I got the CEO here who has a very special name for him, and will give a birthday shout out to him. But many more healthy years, brother.
So, Shirley, since Patrick is in Joseph Burkhart's Liberia, where the internet is down, let the man go first.
His internet.
Yeah, that was and that's been very smart. See, you are a true Liberian for true. Yeah, real Liberian. So any moment from now, even if I'm talking, I could go off anytime. So let me go ahead. Yeah, certainly. So I want to say a shout out to to our friend, our brother, from Philly. Happy belated birthday. Is belated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Belated happy birthday to you. Many more years ahead. Fruitful years, blessings, and let providence favor you as always.
Okay, see you. Go ahead.
All right. The man, put Patrick on mute, please. All right. So McCarvin, he has been going through what I call identity metamorphosis, right? What that means is the man has names. So I can remember back in the day when we were on Intellectual Crossfire, the man used to be called the heir to the British throne of encyclopedic knowledge. That was the name we used to call the man, because if you want to learn the lexicon, the encyclopedia, just get the man literature, right? Yeah, so he used to call the heir to the British throne of encyclopedia. But he was criticized for that, at least from me. Why is it that a crown man from Grand Jide is the heir to the British throne and not heir to the Grand Jide throne of encyclopedia knowledge? So that was the criticism I had against him. But right now, the man is heir to the British throne of encyclopedia knowledge in retirement. He's no longer occupying that position. Right now, the man has graduated to another nomenclature called the animal. The man is now the animal. He got the whole species name right now, the animal. So anytime you see McCarvin, when you say the animal, you will say, this is how I was made. I mean, something like that. I can't say word for word. But, I mean, he's a very learned guy, highly ambitious, educated. One of the young guys in the Liberian community in Pennsylvania that is doing well. He has a family. I know his family very well. He has a beautiful, I mean, you see the car behind the man, so you know that the man is doing well. That Range Rover, the man driving. So about McCarvin, on the serial note, want to say happy, Patrick can say that belated birthday or happy belated, one of them, the order. Yeah, so about McCarvin want to say wish you many more happy years and the best life has to offer. Shirley, you can go ahead to the next.
So the next person having to be my own beautiful princess, Gap Star. I can write an entire book about this little girl. She celebrated her 50th year on this earth, but she is amazing. She is every mother dream daughter. And I am so blessed by the Lord to be her mother. And as beautiful as she is, her heart is beautiful as well, and everything about her is beautiful. She is a straight A student, in advanced math, advanced English, and I'm such a proud mother to, yeah, she's like a best friend, like my gym partner, my dancing partner, and sometimes I forget her age because I expect more of her, and she always comes true. So happiest belated birthday. I would say happy birthday to her because I believe in celebrating the entire month. So celebrating her the entire month. But yeah. All right, Patrick, your turn. I'll unmute you.
Okay. Um, little, I would just call her little angel, little goddess, like mother, like daughter. And it is not mistaken anyway. Yeah, that Shelly, we have a beautiful, angelic, gorgeous, what should I say? Adoring girl, 2015. Yeah, I think you're a prime mother, Shelly. And I want to say, belated happy birthday to the little girl. The day she came to Liberia at the age of 20, perhaps, and that maybe she had a BSc, with her first degree or second degree, got to see her home, go all the way there, eat some pan butter. Yeah, so belated happy birthday, girl, and many more years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Osapo and cream mixed blood. You cannot go wrong with that.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead,
So
Tino.
yeah, so Shelly, I am suffused with elation to have seen you
What?
give you all.
You did what? Wait. Wait. What?
He's confused. I can't.
You said from the beginning, you said, the big words are not here today, but I'm here now. So
I can't. You can't.
yeah, I'm inundated with joy that we have such a brilliant, like something you just said, Jana, that appeals to me. You say she is taking advanced math courses right now. That's something that I like to hear, because our generation, unfortunately, we fail our country. So the next group of people that are coming, or our offspring, our progeny, when they are taking on courses that are now majors or disciplines now that are ruling the world, it makes me happy, So, Patrick, the last convention we held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I want to say a big kudos to Shelly for bringing her among our people. A lot of the time we don't bring our children to acclimate them to their culture, right? They stay away. So I like the fact that Shelly brought on board, and she served as the somebody who introduced the guest speaker, Mr. Oweti. So that's a good thing. Let introduce, let bring our children, let introduce them to our culture, let them know who they are. The Ghanaian, they have their what they call Sankofa. Return to your roots, right? Let's carry our children to the root, let them know themselves. Like Socrates would say, know thyself, right? So if you don't know yourself, then who are you? There are people that are trying to run away from who they are. They run away from their culture. They don't even want to speak their own language. Like my man Patrick, for example, he can speak Sapo, that free man. I try to stab on my man. I try to take a stab on my man now. But that's a good thing, Shelly. Thank you for taking care of our daughter and continuing the good job. Gabby, want to say happy birthday to you. We wish you the blessing from the ancestors. The spokesperson of the ancestors is here, and I'm the direct representative of the elders and the ancestor. You have now been baptized with the blessings from the ancestors and the elders.
Okay, so are these other people, are their birthday people here?
Yeah, so the other people, you don't know about them. Let me put them. This let put on. Yeah, this is Gilman, Otavius Gilman. He was the opposition to Ide Poa during the last election that Ide won.
Okay.
Yeah, young crown brother, he's doing well. I think he's the Trump for the gender community in the U.S. The man is a real estate man. So you are in that area that somebody to network with. He has a background in real estate. Just look at the man outfit, the man that rich that Donald Trump for us. Yeah, the man is doing well. The last election, unfortunately, he was decimated by the Iron Lady.
Of
But
course.
that's
Of course.
yeah, unfortunately, that's the nature of politics, but he's a good brother. I mean, I love the brother as every time he doesn't take the thing seriously. That's why I want him to reassess his decision the other day. Go back in your closet, because when you are a leader, you hear a lot of voices, right? People push you. I mean, they want you to do this. It left with you after the people give their advice to sit down and make sound decisions, that will benefit you and your community, because whatever decision you make, it affects you, right? So, I mean, Gilman is a wonderful young man coming up. I want to say happy birthday to you, and we wish you all the best. The last election, my house was divided. My wife was in his corner, and on either side, but we didn't go vote, but we were in the house and arguing with ourselves. They got vice president, how you call slew. I mean, they were and my wife, they were church members before. They were in the same church, so they were praising Jesus together. So if from that angle, they were trying to do that solidarity. But that's what makes democracy a beautiful thing, right? You can be in the same house, sleep on the same bed, and we get different ways to think, and that's how it's supposed to be. You express your opinion, So, but Gilman, happy birthday, brother.
Who's this?
And that's our daughter too, the representative of District Number 3, Sino County.
Okay.
The Honorable Dr. Alex Sonnyboy Noah, my daughter.
Oh, great.
So yeah, the girl is celebrating her birthday as well, and that's why I added her to our talking point. I need people to do shout out to. Because again, I'm happy that we have these young children. They are coming up very well. Even though our political leaders, they have to make the country better for all of the children back home too, as well, to have access to quality education, to have quality food, everything, healthcare, just the way our children are doing here. The politicians, they're taking their children from the country, bringing them here. Let them create the environment, so that those are on the ground too, they can do better. But I'm happy that little girl is doing well. Happy birthday. My kids used to go there, they hang out, they love her. Yes, happy birthday to her. We wish her many more years. And the best, you see the proud follow here, our lawmaker.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Alex Sonnyboy Noah.
Okay.
So Patrick, if you want to do shout out to our man's daughter, go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, so let me say shout out to Alex's daughter. Belated happy birthday to you, Carol, and Mr. Octavius Gion. Also, belated happy birthday to you, boom. Yeah, all the best to all of you.
All right, Marita, quick. I mean, again, it's hard to. My own daughter. I'm not doing politics, right? But I just want to point something out here. You see, the office that Mr. Noah occupies is not just for him. It represents a group of people, especially that side put the esoteric, the spokesperson of the elders and the ancestors, right? So when you are in my office and you are putting out literature, let the guys make sure that they look at what they put out, from our office, So if you look at the communication here, it's maybe of sentence or less, right? So they say our office would like to take this time. So when you use the word there is our, right? It's now one person. So if for order, it reflects me as well. So when we put something outside, let it reflects me properly. So you say our office would like to take this time to extend heartfelt birthday greetings to Miss Alice Noah, right? Daughter of, that is fine. Daughter of our, you see the word there, XTEEM. I don't know what kind of the Sapo or the crew or the Gripo. I don't know what language they were writing.
I'm done. That's so, AI mistake.
Yeah, so the word is ESTEEMED, esteemed. So I just saying, when you kind of writing something for me, representing me, the spokesperson for the elders, you don't just write something capriciously. Let it be properly examined grammatically, let it be okay, because there is something called what you call I forgot the word, but it's a figure of speech, right? In literature, where the part represents the whole, right? Synecdoche, that's the word I want to use. Synecdoche is where the part represents the whole. Sonny Boy Noir is a part representing the whole, right? So when you're representing the whole, represent it properly, you know. But I just don't want to go too much into politics. Yeah, but I want to say happy birthday to our daughter. Let it, guys. I mean, as a matter of fact, Sonny Boy Noir to punish the secretary, whoever wrote this thing. That's an embarrassment to my office. You know, they're gonna do something about it. But happy birthday to our daughter. Patrick, you smiling, my man. What's up?
Should I do one more and then we can go?
Yeah, one more. If you have somebody else.
Oh, there's nobody else but myself.
No, before you come on, let me show. I was here with the metrosexual himself, my Calvin, you know, over here doing the convention right there. But go ahead, do your thing.
Okay. Well, Madison, you start up.
All right, so Patrick, the CEO gave me the deputy CEO or the co-host, whatever the title is. I don't care for title that much.
Yes.
But you see, Shirley is a go-getter, right? She is very determined, and that's how I want, because I tried getting a boy, but unfortunately I get all girls, you know. So she's a good role model to the girls, right? First of all, she went to school. She hit all the way to master's level, right? And she is not complacent. She's still doing more. She went to real estate. She got a certificate. And in order to practice, to do the actual work, you have to be certified, you know. So she went and challenged the test. They almost scored $1 on the test, my man. The England brothers, they said they almost do the test, you know. So right now, the woman is licensed, you know, so licensed real estate agent in the U.S. All right. So Patrick, when you come to the U.S. in the future, you want a house, she can make it work for you. You know, she can make. So anybody, if you know somebody who is looking for a house right now, who wants to purchase a property, Shirley Snell is somebody to get in contact with. You know, Shirley, I'm quite proud of you. I did not make a mistake to bring you as co-host, because I believe in, bringing people that will challenge me, that have value. I don't make a mistake to bring Patrick. I mean, you are all brilliant people. You bring something unique to the table. You have the ability to challenge the spokesperson of the elders and the ancestors, and that's what I want. I don't want somebody who will say yes sir or yeah man. You know, challenge my ideas. I might not always be right. Sometimes I'll be wrong. The elders will sometimes they try to test my ability. So sometimes they will want to see how critically I think I'll analyze things erroneously. And you guys should kind of call me to a point that's pretty good. But Shirley, I want to say,
that's not a real estate thing, Madison. You're missing it. That's just the insurance stuff.
Okay. The insurance one. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, but I want you to elucidate on that one.
I can. Yeah. That's my thing. I told you. Matter of fact, y'all please get your dictionary. I actually lied to you guys, but yeah, I mean, yes, I do have my real estate lesson. It's been a few years. I'm grateful. And I love to set goal every year. Love to challenge myself. First, it was assisted living. So if you are starting your assisted living in Minnesota, I can help you start your assisted living, because now I'm not working in assisted living. I like to facilitate to help you start your assisted living. That means from like the beginning to getting you into your first survey and passing your first survey. So that's number one. And I'm into real estate as well, as far as helping you to invest into real estate or to become that first-time home buyer. And I take it next step further, because I have seen a lot of our people have their loved one pass away, and they have to go through GoFundMe. And I feel like, or their person should rest peacefully, not people being over their body trying to get money together to bury them. So I make it my responsibility to get my lesson to become a insurance lesson agent. And I know a lot of our people, when they hear about insurance, they're like, you want to kill me? You want to put life insurance on me to kill me? So I decided to educate myself, take the test, so that way I can educate our people and explain to them that insurance life insurance necessary doesn't mean that you have to die before you get the benefit. But there are so many benefits when you get insurance for your family, yourself, and your loved one. And I'm here to educate people on that. I have my office space that I'm working on. So I'm going to have an actual location where people can come and I can educate you. I can have you start your policy, or policy that you can borrow from to pay up your student loan, pay up your house, and get yourself a new car. But that's it.
Okay, but Shell, a quick question for you though. You say you can help, to educate people and get rid of their student loan. And are you doing it pro bono, free of charge, or anything?
Well, when you come to register for your policy, you are not the one paying me. The company is going to pay me. So, but the main focus is to educate our people, to let them know the importance of having insurance.
So to be clear though, you are doing it free of charge.
I am doing it free of charge to sign you up on your policy. You are not the one paying me. You're not paying me anything to do it. And matter of fact, I'm open to recruit people to teach you, train you on how you too can pass the test and be able to work for yourself. Because come on now, the goal is to build generational wealth. At least for me, that is my goal. That's my focus. Because I do not want any of my kids to live the same life that I live, from paycheck to paycheck. That shouldn't be our portion in America. So there are a lot of opportunities. And yeah.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead. You running the show.
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, so then we're going to move forward here. And I see a lot of comments coming, especially from my mom, who is so proud of me. Yeah, so, yep.
And what is the name of your mother?
Frances Meyer Clark is my mentor, my mother, and my forever president.
So to be clear though, is your godmother, mother, or biological mother?
I want part, you say your own, I say my own. I ain't going into
Okay.
it.
So I can talk more to about the co-host, or maybe
Go
I can talk more to.
ahead.
Amen. Also, because you're in America, right? Oh, I see. Oh,
I mean, you register like real quick, bro.
this is the charge of prejudice. Yes. Yeah. So see, in the first place, I have to say thank you for bringing Shade on. Yeah, you didn't make any mistake, and you brought her right in time. I think it was a 2023 convention that came with a quick contest. No, 2024. Yeah, it was a 2024 convention that came with a quick contest. Our first interacted with Shade personally because she was contesting, and I was doing flyer promotion for all the contestants. So I was talking to them. We spoke. And then myself, we also interacted for the first time. Patience, I think there were 3 contestants at that time. Yeah, Patience and myself, we spoke for the time. Yes, I think she even got certain program. Yeah, certain giveaway program. Safari. Yeah. Safari. Yeah, I think we worked together to do a Safari flyer, for some giveaway program. So I followed up for some time now, and she has been very receptive. What I did not succeed in getting her, her full attention, what we could talk regularly, as me and others really do, But thankfully, I went to the mountain. And I said, I went to the mountain and said, how can this shit again myself ever get to collaborate? Oh, my phone went up.
Hey, fair enough, that's the internet.
Shelley, you
CEO.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think
Yeah.
Patrick is having some technical problem right now.
Yeah, broadcast problem.
So we can move on here. Maybe when he gets back, we can give him the opportunity to continue.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
but I
sure,
was
sure.
actually looking forward to him being here for the next topic. And as we
Yeah,
talk,
the mail join us. Yeah.
okay, so let's try to wrap up here. Appreciate everyone here. A lot of comments, and so moving on. But I'm gonna move us because I want to put this on and ask some questions. So I'm gonna start with this picture. CEO,
Yeah.
I want you to open up your eyes. You need to wear some glasses. Look at that picture and zoom in, zoom out, and let me know what is wrong with that.
First, instead of talking about what is wrong with it, the picture in front of me, I should first state what is good about it. Aesthetically, I mean, it's a beautiful image.
Okay.
It's well crafted. A beautiful flag. Now, what is wrong with it? I think I see, those of us in the academic arena, there's a word before you even start school, the teacher then will start telling the professors will start telling you about it first. And the word is called plagiarism. Yeah, plagiarism is to be sure, it's taking another person's idea and claiming it to be yours without giving reference or credit to the person who actually created that thing. So they teach us not to be plagiarists, not to take other people. We can do it, or we can take other people's ideas, but we have to give appropriate credit to the people. And they encourage us to be innovative, to do our own thing, that what we are taught in school. But unfortunately, we have a whole nation, called Liberia. These people, they went over there, they say they are educated, they oppose the US policy, what the American people did to them. They want their own country, right? Now, after they got their freedom, they went to a place now called Liberia. They decided to set up their own institution, or institutions, if you like. And they established a country. They declared themselves independent country in 1847, July 26. Shelley, I wanted to find out later, these people that they say the US were treating them bad. They don't like what was going on in the US. They went and replicated. They basically copy and paste. Right? They could not invent their own symbol, a national symbol, their own flag, something that would resemble maybe their struggle or what. They couldn't come up with something unique. But they literally copied American flag. The only difference is the one star, and maybe the stripes, but they just took the whole design of the American flag. And I think, Shelley, if you ask me, something is wrong. We have to be able to invent our own thing, to create our own thing. If we think we are educated people, we should be able to do our own thing. So why copy everything from America? When you say America was your oppressor, why copy everything from your oppressor? You even went in, if you look at the Constitution, Shelley, the guy said, if you are not somebody of non-Negro descent, you can't be citizen of Liberia. They put it in the Constitution that how much they didn't like the Caucasian, the white people. But the only thing they didn't hate is the design of the white people thing. Everything, the government, the governing structure, the form of government, they carry the same thing in Liberia.
Everything.
Word for word, copy and paste. So then why you rebel against the people? Why are you talking down? Why you say they can't be president or they can't be citizen of your country? When you copy practically everything that they were doing here. You couldn't come up with your own thing. So Shelley, I don't know about you, but I think we shouldn't be continuing this. the new generation, the new people right now, we have to visit these national symbols so that we can see something that actually reflects us, that actually, that is Liberian. We have to do our own thing at this point, especially when we say we are educated. We get people that went to Harvard, that went to Columbia, that went to all the different Western university, or even the West or African university type institutions for learning in the world. And then we are still, using other people's symbols to represent us. I think it's a lack of thinking on our part. It's a lack of creativity on our part. And we have to do more than that.
So you talk about symbol, which gonna bring me to my next point. But I want to ask a question first before going to, would you say those people who went over to like Liberia and carry on the flag and basically copy and paste, would you eyes or face say those people were not educated?
I think to understand, again, we have to define what education is here, right? Are we talking about formal or informal education?
Well, let's talk about formal education first.
So formally, to be honest, they were not. Formally,
Okay.
a lot of them from the plantation. I will be reading about Joseph Junior Roberts, the first president of Liberia. He was what we call autodidacta. The man taught himself, read books and different things. But he did not go and sat in classroom like we have right now. So I know where you are going with that question, and you want us to be fair. I think that's why it is.
Right.
The
But they could justify why they copied and paste because they didn't have any formal education.
Yeah, but Shelley, the last time I checked, right? My mom is not formally educated, but when you say one of the creative and the smartest person on planet Earth, that whole.
What you call that creative though?
What? To copy other people's flag?
Yes, I can come up with my own idea, but I have the structure from what I learned, I see people doing from another country, and I want to implement that. However, I don't know how to come up with my own idea, but let's go in line with what they already have. And give them credit though. The flag is a little bit different. It's the same color, but the star is one.
So, but Shelley, assuming you have 50 states in Liberia, they will have 50 stars on it too. So the only reason they put one star is because that one country. So if they have 50 states, they will put 50 stars there. So they couldn't create their own thing, So they put, let's
move to symbol. Let's move to symbol.
Yeah. So.
And I gotta get you off. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if it's clear. Can you see that?
I see it very well. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you talk about symbol, and going back to this flair were basically copied and paste. But then we just agreed that those people were people that didn't have formal education, right? We agree to that. But look at these symbols. And basically, almost everything is the same. The national anthem, the road, our capital city.
I'm following.
And my point is everything is the same. The symbol is the same. And it brings me to your point of they couldn't think outside of the box, but then to their defense, they have that formal education.
Yeah, it's a Shelley. I don't know what that's a good defense though, to say because they don't have proper education. Because I don't think you have to be formally educated to be creative, Yeah, I don't think that creativity comes from formal education. I think it's innate, Yeah, so we got kids that can do stuff sometimes, without even going to school, they come up with stuff, So if you look at the Wright brothers, for example, they didn't go study engineering, all of that. They had this idea and they say, you know what, we'll get a device, something to fly, called airplane. And when they were doing it first, their parents were laughing at them. You know, when you read Think and Grow Rich, you read that book, you find out the parents will laugh at them and all of that. You know, so but they talk, like you said, they talk outside the box. As Piero will say, we got to actually break the box and burn it and throw it away to think freely. You know, instead of thinking inside or outside the box, get rid of the box. So
I like that.
Yeah. So when it comes to the seal, right? I think I'll let's be fair, is different from American seal. You know, yeah. So this one they were a little creative on that. You know, so if you look at they got a shovel over there, right? So if you kind of, the shovel is for, you know, labor to work hard in order to survive. You know, they got a plow there as well, like a wheelbarrow. You know, it has to do with labor. You know, and then you see the shape when they were coming to Liberia. That's a shape there. You know, and you got a dove there for peace and stuff like that. You know, so the palm tree, it represents, you know, the resources of the country, the natural resources and stuff like that. You know, so this one they put their mind to work, right?
The sun.
I'm sorry, the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it's the emergence, the rising of the new nation. You know, the birth of the new nation. That's why it indicates. You know, so they were created on this one. But what I have issue with is the wording on the seal. The law of liberty brought us here. Okay, so that the wording does not include everybody. You know, there were people that were on the ground when you got there. So it's called exclusive language. It's not inclusive language. So the exclusivity of the majority of the people that inhabited the land is a problem for me. And that's what I think we'll have to revisit the symbol. I think the flag, the shape, I mean, it has to also be getting rid of. We already now come from America to come to Liberia. You know, there were people already on the ground. Okay, so we have to revisit. I agree with the shovel and the other thing, that symbols, you know, for labor, for also all work to have a prosperous nation. You know, but I think the law of liberty, it does not encapsulate the entire population of the country. It's divisive. I mean, we can't say it's a united country. We should get, if you look at our constitution, it talk about eliminating tribalism and those things because they want unity. So you can't have unity and then the national symbol, the word is on it, the words are divisive, you know, and that's I think that's something I have a problem with, Shelley. So we have to visit it and look at it, revisit it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the 178th lecturer for the Liberian Independence Day celebration, Dr. Emin, I just forgot his last name, but that's something that he also spoke to this. And President Barker got to look into it. You can have a national symbol that does not include all the people.
Yeah, I think we can visit that too next week because I really want Patrick to be here for it. And then plus we are completed out of time here. We already passed 2 hours, 30 minutes. So I would like you to give your closing statement or any other matter that you want to talk about before we close here. And yes.
Yeah, Shirley, thank you. I like the fact that you are time conscious, you know, because it shows that you have other priorities, right? So that's why, yeah. So if you see somebody does not respect time, that means they don't have other things in their life that are important, right? They waste the time. So I like the fact that you're kind of pressing on the time. That's pretty good. Yeah. Every good restaurant has a time to close, right? Yeah, right. If you don't close it, people will say, "Nah, so don't yama they're cooking over there."
Right. We want to keep our audience coming back because there are a lot of things that are happening in our country that we want to talk about, and you know, good to have all of them on. We wish we could go through all of your comments and be able to say something about it. But if you are watching up on YouTube or Facebook or
host, I didn't end my thought that you cut me off.
Oh, I apologize for that.
Are you using your prerogative as a boss?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so but Shelley, on a serious note, I want to say thank you so much for I knew you could do it. I mean, you're a little nervous at first, but when you're there, you're there. You just have to unleash it. So that why, if you read the book called The Art of War, right? Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu say if you want the soldiers to perform to their best, put them in a situation where they have no means out. Yeah, yeah. That's what you do. So that's why I said, no, I'll pour there and she will find a way out. And you did just that. So I want to say thank you so much. And to our audience, our viewers, we want to say thank you for your many comments and thank you. Don't hesitate. If you have something to discuss, you want us to convey any message, inbox us. And one important thing I will ask you, please go to our following, the viewers. A lot of you follow, not from YouTube or Facebook today, but a lot of you follow from YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube page for us to sign up. Yeah, we need at least 1,000 right now subscribers.
Yes.
To start going live on YouTube. Right now we're using Stream Live to go live. But if we have, YouTube has at least a minimum of 1,000 viewers in order to go live from YouTube, and we're trying to monetize the show as well, so that we can bring more people. We don't want Shelly to keep working free of charge. At least when we start beginning the routine, so she can, buy a nice African dress.
From single man next to a single minister.
You single man? No, let us not go there. Yeah.
We're coming. We have a show coming up on Friday. Is where we get to. What's the right word to say? But the show on Friday is, how they say, I say my own, don't judge me.
Right.
Or listen and don't judge on Friday. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. And
on Friday, when you can't stand the heat, don't get in the kitchen.
You can't stand the heat, don't get on the fire. And I think it's gonna be really great because earlier before he came on, I say I was free to be like, thank you, Jesus, because that's all I know how to do. So come to our Friday show. That's where you're gonna see the both of us going at each other in a respectful way, of course. But yes.
Yeah, it'll be a pretty good show because it calls speak your mind, right?
Yes.
So you speak your mind. Yeah, if I say something that is nonsense, what you just said are nonsense. I don't care. But you gotta tell me why.
The way it is. No sugarcoating.
Yeah, no sugarcoating. So if it's nonsense, but get ready to tell me why it is a nonsense, right? You can't say it's a nonsense. You don't tell me anything. You just go with that. No, that's not. We want to make it substantive, but call the people. Because people say a lot of things. They put a lot of big words out. And they can't even defend it. So Shell will be challenging me. All that big word, you tell the people to
I will have my dictionary, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be testing me. But I want to say thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you so much for running a good show today. And it's up to you. However you want to end it, I'm out. You're on your own right now.
I'm gonna, before I close here, I want to again say thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. I also run a platform called Safari Testify, which I come on every Monday. Well, let's start. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. I do Reflection Sunday on that platform at Safari Testify. It's a Christian platform. It's where we get to use our power of testimonies to inspire people, to encourage people, to motivate people, to transform lives, and most importantly, to win souls to Jesus Christ. And I'm grateful that I get to run that platform with my sister Helen, who is based in Texas. I have my sister Vera, she's in Minnesota as well. So we will be coming on today at 6 p.m. for Testimony Thursday. Some of our activities are Monday as well, Motivational Monday. Motivational Monday is the time where we get to pick a Bible verse of the day and use that Bible verse as a way to, let's say, motivate ourselves, but yet use it to remind us of who God is and what He promised us, right? And then on Wednesday, we do Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom Wednesday, we get to talk about all the goodies, things that will empower you, things that will inspire you, things that will change your life. Right now, we are on real estate. We are on how to become a first-time home buyer, how to invest into real estate, how to get equity out of your home. So please do not miss it. Try to follow me here on my personal platform or on Safari Testify. So here you go here. 1 second. How do I do this? Yeah. So I will be on today at 6 p.m. Central Time. Come and join me for Testimony Thursday. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your testimony is or are, because there are so many things God is doing for us. So God bless you. And I would like to end the show today. Let me see if I can find my thing to end the show. Where is it at? My CEO now leave her. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Oh, yes, I got it. Thank you for watching us. Drumline. And we get to see you next week on here. This is the platform where you get to hear all of the things that are happening in our country. And we get to bring you all the goodies. So my CEO will be on next week. He's going to be the one hosting the show, and I will also be here to support, and Patrick will be here. So have a wonderful day.